Deuteronomy 14 and verse 29 says, "Remember the Levites, because they have no part, no inheritance with thee, nor the stranger, nor the fatherless, and the widow, that they may come within thy gates and eat and be satisfied." I greet you this morning in the name of I am, that is my name forever. The name you shall call me from generation to generation. Speak unto the children of Israel, say unto them, I am, has sent me unto you. All praises be to the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I'm going to continue on sharing some brief insight on tithing. I am against tithing because America is not the land of Canaan. The land of Canaan is the inheritance for the children of Israel, and he chose a region where he wanted his people to assemble themselves and to travel with the food and to bring it to Jerusalem. That's the place where the Most High chose to establish his name there. America is not the land of Canaan. America is not Jerusalem. So our pastors have been manipulating the scriptures for their own personal gain. Stop paying tithes to your pastors. You need to go back and reevaluate the scriptures. Read the Torah, which are the 5 books of Moses. The inheritance for the children of Israel is very easy to understand tithing. When you start reading the Torah, Exodus 23 and verse 17 says, 3 times a year all the males shall appear before me. So the women did not go to Jerusalem. It was the men that the Most High commanded to go, and it was done every 3rd year. And they were to tithe from the earth. It was food. They were to bring food, put it in a basket, and travel to Jerusalem. Yes, 1 Kings 11 and 36 says, Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there. And that's where he required the tithes to go. Now they were to provide for the Levites. He said, Deuteronomy 14 and verse 29, if you have the King James Version, very briefly, he said, "Remember the Levites, because they have no part, no inheritance with thee, and the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may come within thy gates and eat and be satisfied." So he reminded them that it would be the Levites that they were to bring food to, because he chose the Levites to help shepherd Israel, and they had a great responsibility. According to Numbers 18 and verse 21, "Behold, I have given the children of the Levites all the tenth in Israel for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation." Now when Israel bring food to the Levites would take 10% of that food and give it to the priests, Aaron's descendants, because the priests couldn't leave the tabernacle. They had to stay there until they die. And they had to make sacrifice and make atonement for the children of Israel. Every time Israel rebelled and sinned, they would have to slaughter animals. So this was like a daily sacrifice. So they would bring food to the Levites. They would bring food to the Levites, and the Levites would take 10% of that food and give it to Aaron's descendants. And they also had to provide for the strangers and the fatherless and the widows, those who did not have a provider in the home. So he said, just make sure you remember the poor. He said, the poor will never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thy hand wide unto thy poor, to thy brother, and to thy needy in thy land. Does it sound like he's talking to America? No. It sounds like he's talking to the land of Canaan. That's the inheritance for the children of Israel. So our modern day local churches have made millions off of public manipulation, and they will continue to make millions, because they actually think that by them making or bringing the Old Testament back into effect, that the kingdom of heaven is going to be established off of the Old Testament. That's one of the biggest lies that they could ever cook up. So it's time to come out of public manipulation, reevaluate the scriptures, go back and read the Torah, which are the 5 books of Moses, and stop giving out of ignorance. All you're doing is making the pastors rich. Stop paying tithes to your pastors. I hope and pray that this brief insight gives you a biblical understanding of African American heritage. Shalom.